G.
They better get season tickets right now because before long, they probably won't be able to.
It's all about the Badgers.
Don't flinch. The greatest coach in Wisconsin history is on the air.
It's over. The Wisconsin Badgers win 17-9. They are the first Big Ten team ever to win successive Rose Bowl games.
Live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, this is the Barry Alvarez Show on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
What are your emotions right now? Just like the old days.
Alongside Rose Bowl champions Derek Engler and Tarek Saleh, here's Jesse Nelson.
For the first time in 2026, we welcome you in to the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton, where I hear it's a special occasion tonight, guys. We'll talk about that coming up here in a moment, alongside the Rose Bowl champions, Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler, which it feels like it's been a long time since all three of us have actually been here together, going back to before the holidays. Happy to have everybody back in-house here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. And we're also joined remotely by the legendary former Wisconsin Badgers head coach and director of athletics, Barry Alvarez. Coach, a belated happy birthday once again, and happy new year to you.
Well, happy new year to you guys.
First time in 2026 that we are on the air for the Barry Alvarez Show. Lots to talk about. Of course, the results of the college football playoff games on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We'll get to that coming up a little bit later. But it is portal season, fellas. Transfer portal in full swing for the Wisconsin Badgers, both for the players who are leaving and for the players who are coming in. And the big news from the last 48 hours or so, the Badgers have found their quarterback for the upcoming season. At least that's what all the reports are indicating as such. From Old Dominion, Colton Joseph transferring to the University of Wisconsin. Nobody watches Sun Belt football better than Tarek Saleh. I know he's a big Sun Belt conference fan.
Huge.
James Madison, big. I know how much of a fan you were of them getting into the college football playoff in the first place.
That's a different story, but keep it going.
So Colton Joseph, ranked by ESPN as the 15th best quarterback available in the transfer portal, but he was the guy circled that Wisconsin wanted to bring in, a dual-threat quarterback, the offensive player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference this season. Just a couple of numbers for you. Colton Joseph, as a quarterback, ranked 8th in the FBS in total offense, 2,624 passing yards to go with just over 1,000 rushing yards. 34 total touchdowns this year for the Old Dominion quarterback. The first play of the season was a 70-plus yard touchdown run against the Indiana defense. They went on to lose that game, but they were actually fairly competitive with Indiana in week one. A lot better than some of the other teams around the country could say throughout the course of this season. And then he did help lead Old Dominion to a big road win over Virginia Tech, which ultimately got their coach fired right after that game concluded. So Colton Joseph, dual threat quarterback coming to Madison. Tarek, your reactions when you saw that?
First step in the transfer portal, very excited. Love the guy. In terms of like his potential, what he played, I watched a lot of highlights on him. He seems like a great quarterback, great start. Lots to do there, though, with the offensive line and so forth. But I think as a quarterback, I think it's a great pickup.
Yeah. First things first is I hope he's durable. I hope we can at least have some luck in that regard. It's hard to evaluate. Obviously playing Virginia Tech, Indiana, there was some good opponents, especially in Indiana. But, in that conference, you're not in the SEC or Big Ten week in, week out. So, the numbers I don't get too excited about. It'd be more looking at the film. I'm sure, obviously, our coaching staff did that and did a full evaluation of, who was out there, who would fit, Coach Grimes' system the best. We're just fortunate to get him.
One of only 2 quarterbacks in the nation to throw for 2,000 and rush for 1,000 yards during the 2025 season.
Yeah, the dual threat's fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Gonna fit what the offense is all about.
Yeah, I like it.
The analogy, though,
that's what excites me. You've got a combination quarterback. You don't have to hang your hat on just throwing or just running the ball. I like a threat at quarterback that can hurt you a number of ways, and that just could add so much to our offense. I'm excited.
Yeah, Tarek, you were saying.
I was just saying, though, this is the half glass empty here, is that,
Debbie Downer next.
If I was to buy a plane right now, I don't know how sexy the plane would be, but I can tell you we're not flying anywhere because I can't afford the gas. So you need we was sitting there. I'd buy the buy cart. I get the cart with all the the booze and the food, but we wouldn't be flying anywhere. So
we'd be on the tarmac having our own party.
We need, and everybody knows that it's coming. Coming.
We need a pilot and gas.
Yes.
Where did you learn this analogy? How long have you been sitting on this one? We should get back on and talk about
I always want my own private plane, but I would buy one just for us to sit on the tarmac and hang out.
Just go party on the tarmac.
That's it. Then you have to go home because we're not going anywhere. So
what is your point?
My point is we need offensive line and we need dudes, man. We need to build infrastructure. We need a runway. We don't have a runway, man.
Well,
so
we all know you got to start with the quarterback, right? But to your point, absolutely.
I don't know.
I think you do.
Well, if you do, there you go. That's a start.
I think
you
do. In this day and age, I mean, we can't develop. You're not going
to
have the run game.
You have something now to sell. You have something now to sell to other players that want to come play.
Listen, a third of your team's gone. A new third of teams coming in,
Absolutely.
Complete facelift. There's no relationships developing guys for the new third of the guy. I mean, so you got to get guys that you think will fit the system that have proven themselves other places.
Yep.
And also just evaluate somehow their character.
100%.
And that's where we're at.
And you have a beacon there that guys can follow now. Yep. With that pickup. That's a big pickup.
Are you going to keep riding with the airport analogy all night?
Well, I think
I'm here for it if you can.
It's a great place to be.
Our pilot, Tarek Saleh, leading the ship here.
I'm not the pilot.
No.
We'll talk more about a few of the individual players that the school has officially announced as well are going to be a part of the transfer portal class of 2026. Is that what we call it? I don't even know. But, Coach, the portal season here is in full force. When you look around the sport right now and you see every day, every hour, there's updated information on star quarterbacks leaving from one big school to another, running backs, players that have left schools where coaches were fired at the end of the season and they're finding new homes. What stands out to you when you see all of this news continuing to come out day after day, hour after hour during this stretch of the portal season?
Well, the thing that stands out to me, and I always look at it if I were coaching, which I wouldn't want to be coaching right now under these circumstances, but that's the way it is. And you've got to be flexible, and you got to have your eyes and ears open for who's available. The most important thing is to be able to treat the players on your campus right so that they're happy there and they're reluctant to leave. And I think sometimes that's lost in the shuffle, is instead of out looking around and trying to find somebody with their hand up ready to leave another program, let's take care of the guys that we have there and make sure that we've given them all the resources possible and that they're happy.
100%. Tarek and I talk about this all the time, Coach. What are we doing for our retention? I mean, we got to make sure we're not losing all these guys. They started to form relationships within our locker room. And it does get lost. It focuses all on the who's coming in, who's the hot commodity now. And I agree with Coach. I would start focusing on how we keep guys here and then go see what's available.
What I tried to do was I put every coach in charge of his position. You're there. I used to tell them, those are your kids. I expect you to take care of them. I expect you to get close to them. I expect them to be in your home. I expect them to be out there and having dinner at your place, and in the summer going out and having cookouts or whatever it be. I want you to get close to them. I want you to know them, and I want them to be able to trust you. And I don't know how much of that goes on anymore, but I always felt that was important.
How does recruiting a player transferring, do you think, differ from recruiting a player out of high school? Because you don't have the same amount of time, theoretically, to get to know a recruit's family and some of their background and the other things. Like, some of that is documented, I suppose, for a player that's going to be transferring from a major school, but it's got to be a different process, right?
For the transfer, to what
go ahead, go ahead.
Coach, to your point though, is like you get that opportunity to visit with that kid every day, right? Coach, go ahead with that because that's important.
Well, I was just, now I think you start with how much. I think that's what what the recruit starts with. How much can you pay me? It's not about our campus, about our coaching staff, about the relationships with our coaches and our players. It's not about who graduates from our school, what percentage of our student athletes graduate. It doesn't seem like it's about any of that anymore. It's about how much. So, that's foreign to me. But whatever the game is, you better be able to adapt to it.
I read somewhere that Brett Bielema at the University of Illinois, I read this, that even in the transfer portal, when he's interviewing guys and going out recruiting guys, he still, as he does with high school kids, wants to know about their family, their background, wants to know where they got their name from. Quote, I read that, and I thought that was really interesting. So he didn't change who he was in the whole sales recruiting pitch. I think it's probably a little bit different because it's so shortened, right? So he has to adjust a lot of things, but I think he's still got to be who you are as a coach, and you've had success with.
You still have to build that team, and how you build a team is know your team. You have to know the individual players. You have to bring guys in that fit in that locker room, guys who will get along in your community and on that campus. And Brett's old school, and he still does that, and I think it's important. That's why he's having success.
In the NFL, we build relationships there. Like I have a great relationship with a lot of coaches that I played for, and it doesn't change, right? Just because money's involved. So we need to, just continue to build those relationships. And, eventually, I was listening to Saban. Saban's like, hey, we need to go to the NFL model. I've heard a lot of guys talk about it. This has been, Greg Gard, he talked about it. We've got to put these, at least some sort of, structure. And nobody's against paying the guys, compensating everyone for, and right now it's endless, and that's fine.
It's the Wild West.
It's the Wild West with no structure.
Right.
So,
that's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. But it's everywhere. You're throwing money around everywhere. Who comes up with the most money? And unfortunately, that's good. That wins players over, and it makes sense. But you still have to be happy when you get there, and things have to fit you when you get to that specific program.
Yeah, and like Coach said, unfortunately, a lot of kids are saying, how much? Now, if you're able to swim in that pond and decipher, what kids are saying, well, what's my here's my fair market value here, but I really want to come here, what can you do? And negotiate, because that's what you need to do, but also know that the kid wants to play there. It's not the how much. I'm willing to take less because I really like it here type thing. And I think that's the scenario that I would imagine that what we're doing now.
So some of the other names of the players who are officially transferring to the University of Wisconsin in 2026, of course, the big one is the quarterback Colton Joseph from Old Dominion. A couple of players from Oklahoma State and Iowa State where there were coaching changes this season. Eric Fletcher is a corner from Oklahoma State who's coming in. We've got Iowa State, the running back. This was a nice one, Abu Sama.
So a little short story on him.
Yeah.
I was watching their game in Ireland.
Yeah, the opener. Yeah.
Versus Kansas State, was that the opener?
Yeah, that was the opener. Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was Bin Salah. That's a, and coach, that was my little cousin. I knew was out there. It was awesome.
You thought it was Abu Salah.
That was the hook. That was the hook.
That's how we closed it.
You wanted him before week 0, really.
That's funny.
All right, well, Tarek, we know he didn't fly a plane to go see him, but he did bring him in. Abu Sama, the running back, he's a senior from Iowa State. Again, they had a coaching change. Rocco Beck, or the quarterback, is going to Penn State to join the former coach who took the Penn State job as well. Also from Iowa State, there's a safety, Carson Van Dinter, who's a Wisconsin native from Kaukauna, who's coming back. A couple of Wisconsin natives. There's a linebacker from Iowa Central Community College from Sturgeon Bay who's also transferring to Wisconsin. So a couple of in-state guys coming back home. So there's a couple of tight ends. No offensive linemen added in the portal yet. We knew that would be something that they would need to.
They're coming.
So that's got to be coming.
We're fixing to get a lot of
I mean, obviously, I'm sure with the new O-line coach coming from Arkansas, there's probably we could see one or two maybe, coming from that school. But, that's apparently where we got to really do some work. And if we're going to get a good quarterback, which with a dual threat, we better have the big uglies, the palookas, as Coach would say, up front. Because if we don't, who cares who's behind center?
It's the 6th best recruiting class right now in the transfer portal, according to 247 Sports. Coach, did you ever think you'd see the day where you're ranking transfer classes?
I thought we had moved up to number 5 somehow.
It's always looking for an edge. So, Coach, overall, any final thoughts before we move on from the transfer portal discussion for this week? Because I'm sure this will continue to be a fluid situation over the next couple of weeks while this period remains open.
That's going to be ongoing. I like the fact that our guys are in the mix, that it seems like they're getting some players that, that have experience, from good programs. I love the Iowa State connection. They play good football there, and they've done a good job of getting guys that really like football. So I'm excited about that and encouraged.
Guys, any other thoughts you want to add on the portal and how it looks so far for the University of Wisconsin?
No, just other than what I just said. Now we just got to go hunt for the O-lineman and see who's out there. And unfortunately, we do need to step up and pay them because we're going to need some big guys.
Yeah, don't forget we need a defensive lineman too. We need some outside rushers and maybe a corner or two.
Keep going down each unit.
That's why I talked to my wife when she was at Costco. My wife goes to Costco.
I love how these guys lobby for their former positions. We need a lot of spots.
Derek says we need O-lineman. Tarek says, we need D-lineman.
Hey, I love offensive linemen, but you gotta have defensive linemen too, don't you?
Well,
you guys are so predictable.
Other than I think we got the linebackers back.
Yep. The two stud linebackers are coming back. The freshmen from last year.
We lost Allegro.
Allegro's in the portal. Yeah.
So on the outside though, we got Cheeks, right? Do we have Cheeks coming back?
Cheeks, I think I haven't seen that he's leaving.
But to your point, Tarek.
Yep.
When you finish 16th, you go 4-8. In the Big Ten, you need everybody. And that's the bottom line here. And you start with the quarterback, build around the quarterback.
That's it.
That's in the trenches. How about that? In the trenches.
That's nice. The quarterback is the jet, but you need the gas and the the runway, and
you got it.
You pay for the insurance.
We are
and the booze.
We are flying high here in 2026 on the Barry Alvarez Show at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the offseason developments here around the world of college football. And, oh yeah, we're in the middle of the playoff run where there were some thrilling games on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day that we'll talk about the results of coming up as well, with the semifinals looming later this week. Stick around, live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton, alongside Barry Alvarez, Derek Engler, and Tarek Saleh. I'm Jesse Nelson. It's the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison.
Don't touch that cocktail.
I'd love to coach a game like that.
Oh,
They
man.
may not see a pass in the second half. I'd run that clock. That game would be over. We'd be home having cocktails at 3:30.
Coach will be back after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At J&K Security Solutions, protecting your home or business is more than just the priority. It's what we do. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. Since 1987, J&K Security Solutions has been committed to providing Madison and southern Wisconsin with dependable security solutions. Whether it's security, fire, or the latest automation solutions, go to jksecurity.com to see how J&K can help keep your home or business secure. Get protected now at jksecurity.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Stricker.
And I'm Izzy Stricker.
Golf is a pretty big deal for us, and we want to see it grow.
That's why we've teamed up with Good Lion Golf right here in Madison.
It's golf apparel made for the course, but perfect for everyday life.
From hoodies and jackets to beanies and caps, it's a break from the same old clothes found in the pro shop.
Good Lion is designed right here in Madison and is built on community, creativity, and connection.
Check out goodliongolf.com and join the humble pride today.
Use code ESPN20 for 20% off your order. That's goodliongolf.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
We run the Packers.
This is a crazy season. There isn't a juggernaut.
Because we're on the postseason.
There's not one team that this team can't beat. And as we saw earlier, there's not one team that this team cannot get beaten by.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN.
Right now, what do you think we should talk about, Derek?
Where's that menu? You guys get that menu?
The Barry Alvarez Show.
Three-course meal for $60. It's amazing. You're supposed to. I mean, that's your job, Jesse.
Well, apparently I've got the script here that talks about the happy hour, or the date night, or the special occasion. But you're saying just come here every night of the week.
Well, no,
$60 three-course meal.
Yeah, if I'll get it, I mean, I will read it. It's amazing. Here it is. No, that's not. That's the full menu. That's the. That's my, all right. I forgot my wallet in the truck menu.
Oh, that's the one that I usually order from.
Every week that wallet's in the truck.
Yeah. Again, they're very predictable, Coach. You know that. It's the Barry Alvarez Show here on ESPN Madison, the ESPN Wisconsin app, the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, alongside the Rose Bowl champions Tarek Sala and Derek Engler, and, of course, the legendary former head coach and director of athletics, Barry Alvarez. My name is Jesse Nelson, and we are at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. It's a buzzing place to be here on the first Monday of 2026. The great special, the three-course dinner for $60 that Derek was enjoying earlier tonight. And again, whether you want a night out that really sizzles, you head over here to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Special occasion, date night, Barry Alvarez Show, or just because you deserve it. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, serving up USDA prime steaks cooked to perfection. Pair with world-class wines, handcrafted cocktails, and the warm, welcoming service that makes every visit unforgettable, from Lee and from Jen and the entire staff here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. That makes us feel plenty welcome. Make tonight and every night special at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. College football playoff quarterfinal games in the books over the New Year's holiday. Ohio State goes down in the Cotton Bowl to Miami, and the Hurricanes playing suffocating defense, allowing just 3 points against Texas A&M. Another dominant showing on New Year's Eve to shut down Ohio State, limiting the Buckeyes to just 14 points on offense. And the Hurricanes are on to the semifinal. You guys watch on New Year's Eve, and what'd you think of how Miami took care of business against Ohio State?
I thought it was.
I was impressed with Miami.
Go ahead, Coach.
Everybody was impressed.
Well,
all right, Coach,
what?
You first.
I just felt like, people ask me what I thought of the. I may have said it on air. I just felt Ohio State, with their history, with the experience of a number of those guys who've won a championship, that they had the advantage going into that into the tournament. I call it the tournament, into the playoffs. But Miami, man, did they show up? They've really got a good team. They've got speed. Their skilled players are always good, but they've got linemen to match now. They were really impressive to me.
Makes you wonder how they were on the bubble going into this thing, because they've looked so good.
And then, Notre Dame and A&M both really looked good throughout the early in the season. When Notre Dame played Miami, I thought it was a really good contest, and that's why I thought Notre Dame should be in. So that's what I struggled with. But Miami really played well, and they're physical, they're athletic. You get them all. Mario Cristobal is a hell of a coach, and gets his guys going, especially up front.
Well, I think Miami just got better, in November. Every week. You kind of saw some of their games. I mean, Cristobal had them going at the right time.
Yeah.
And he knows he's got the athletes, and Coach said it. I was so impressed with the guys up. I mean, they always got some D linemen now, but the offensive line in particular, and I'm not being biased. I'm being very truthful here. Those are usually Miami offensive linemen. I mean, they can't play dead in the Western like Tarek would say. They may have one guy or two guys. Yeah, I mean, but this is a formidable offensive line that you'd see typically, in the Big Ten, like at Iowa, Michigan, us, or
no doubt.
in the past.
You know who said that? Oh, go ahead, Coach.
I said, give Cristobal credit. That team came a long way. You saw them get better as the season went along, and they peaked. They peaked here at the end of the season when you have to. So hats off to him. That's what coaching's all about, and he's done a phenomenal job.
Listening to the Rich Eisen show on ESPN Radio, which you can hear weekdays from noon to 2 here on ESPN Madison. Rich Eisen had Michael Irvin on, and of course he's the big Miami fan and alum cheering the team on the sideline.
Annoying as hell watching him on the
He
sideline.
can be, but he's fired up. He's always a hurricane at heart.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
And he was saying that he would go to a few games in recent years, and you could just look at the offensive line. And when it's like Miami's offensive line playing Alabama in the opening game and seeing their defensive line, that we got no shot. Mm-hmm. And that's the first thing that Cristobal addressed at Miami was getting bigger on the offensive line. And now here they are. They have a quarterback. And speaking of portal quarterbacks, Carson Beck comes in from Georgia, where he played in a bunch of significant games in the SEC and in the playoff over the last couple of years. And he doesn't win games necessarily. He's not a guy that he's going out and dominating, but he's not turning the ball over. He's not making silly mistakes, and he's doing just enough on offense to have them playing for a semifinal now.
On game day, Mario Cristobal went on early this year and said, hey, we're going to build this offensive line. We're going to be tough. We're going to be the toughest O-line. And all that. And that was the foundation. And whether Beck was going to come along or not, they were going to keep going. He's not going to wait around for guys to come. He's all about
If I'm not mistaken, Mario was an offensive line coach.
Yeah,
that's his background. And
played
so
center at Miami, Coach. I think
at Miami, he's a Miami guy.
Yep.
He's a Miami guy. So that's smart, going and building on what you know, knowing that if you've got a good offensive line, you've got your pick of skilled players in Miami. So smart move.
You go right from there, and you go right to the back end of the defense and that secondary, because I could not believe, I did not expect that. A lot of people say Jeremiah Smith, the number one pick in the overall pick in the draft. I mean, they got more than just him in the depth chart at that position.
Yeah.
17's good. So I was just impressed with both sides of the ball and those two units the most.
So that was New Year's Eve. There were 3 other games on New Year's Day to talk about. Let's first go to the last game that was played, because that's who Miami will play in the semifinal coming up here on Thursday, and that's Ole Miss. Without head coach Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss takes down Georgia, comes back a fantastic Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day evening in New Orleans. 39-34 ended up being the final score. It was really 37-34, and a bunch of weird things happened at the end. Safety on a bunch of laterals and whatnot. But Ole Miss wins the game, and they are in the semifinal after their coach, before the start of the tournament, left to go to LSU to take that job. Coach, what a phenomenal storyline for college football for Ole Miss to be here as one of the last 4 teams remaining.
It is. Now, you know what? I know Kiffin. I know the family well. His father and I were very close. Father coached me as far back as when I was a freshman in college. So I go way back with that family. My first head coaching job in high school was at Lexington, Nebraska. Monty Kiffin, his father, got me the job. It's his hometown. So I know that crew very well. Not crazy about a lot of the things that young Kiffin stands for and how he goes about his business. But I tell you one thing, he can coach ball, and he's done a heck of a job down there. And he's built a team, and he's got a staff that's strong enough when he's not there. Hey, they just move on, and those players are mature enough that they go play their game. They're not sitting around there wondering, is we getting the right calls from the sidelines? They just move forward. That was impressive.
And Coach, I got a question for you. And I know that there's been a lot of noise about this in the media. I mean, we need to probably have restrictions on head coaches hitting the transfer portal. This is an obvious situation here. But Lane Kimpson, I think he's up to $500,000. He's getting bonuses sitting playing in his roster.
He's getting money every time Ole Miss wins.
Yeah, if he wins it all, it's like $1 million bucks. I mean, but those, I just go directly to the kids, the players, right? I mean, that's not fair to them. There should be restrictions on coaches as well.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of money they're all getting paid these days.
Well, players are making just as much.
Well, fair.
That's up to the athletic director. When you write your contracts, those are things that you have to think of. You have to have some foresight and some vision. And if this guy becomes, a hot commodity and people are throwing money around, what do you do to keep him? And if he leaves, how are you compensated? So that has to be thought out and worked out when you do the contract, not after the fact.
Yeah, so Coach, the one thing that Nick Saban was talking about is the calendar, when those coaches or players to be recruited, so that it's after the season like the NFL, and who makes those decisions to change the calendar, because it's really fragmented because you have the Big Ten, SEC, right, Coach? You can't. It's hard to unify that.
Well, you can't. Yeah, you can't do it by leagues. It'd have to be an NC2A or an overall agreement by the Coaches Association. And it sure seems to me that the direction that college athletics is going is that sports are going to manage themselves and build guidelines and build rules and police those rules themselves rather than the NC2A, because they certainly haven't shown any strength over a number of years.
No, that's true. I mean, it's gonna have to come from that perspective. I think there's a lot of change to come.
That's why private equity is getting involved.
Yep.
That's right.
That's where it's headed.
We got a couple of shows left here before the end of the year. We should just do an entire show one night with all the different ideas that Nick Saban and Dan Lanning and all these different people around the country have proposed to try and figure this thing out.
I would guess if you took a look at those suggestions, every one of them leans towards their situation.
You don't say.
That's the way coaches are. They're going to make rules, but it tends to lean in their advantage.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience, Coach.
That you got it. You got
it. Speaking of Dan Lanning, the Oregon Ducks dominate Texas Tech. You were so high on Texas Tech, Tarek. You were high on their defense.
That would be me.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Derek. I'm sorry.
Be the first to admit.
I'm sorry. Hey, you guys were taking turns who was here and who wasn't. I'm sorry.
I will be the first to admit I was wrong. I really liked their defense. A lot of analysts were calling them probably one of the best, if not the best, in the country. They just did not come to play at all, and was really disappointed in that performance by Texas Tech, because I thought they had a chance to upset Oregon. I really did.
It was a great game to take a nap during.
Yeah,
Oregon 23-0 over Texas Tech, and then Oregon will face Indiana in the semifinal on Friday night. The Hoosiers, the Indiana Hoosiers, the only team with a bye to win a college football playoff game through 2 seasons in this format. Teams with a bye are now 1-7. Playing in the quarterfinal round. The only team that has won is Indiana, and they did it in dominant fashion over Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Coach, what'd you think of how the Hoosiers performed against Alabama?
I got to tell you, I am so impressed with the job that Cignetti has done there. He's a guy came in, brought some of his players from James Madison, but changed that program, the culture and the attitude and how they play immediately. And to be undefeated and to be where they are right now, that's a phenomenal task. I couldn't be more impressed with a coaching job than what he has done.
I can't echo that more, Coach. I got to tell you, I looked at it. I thought he bought the team. He brought all these transfers. No. He brought 8 guys, and this guy built a culture. He coaches football. He sends the right message to the kids, and he continues to send the message to America that they're there to stay, and that he's done all the right things.
I've been reading a lot of things, and have a cousin that went to IU, have some friends, so on and so forth, and the frenzy And and by the way, the Rose Bowl was 85,000 Hoosiers fans. You know, that's reminiscent of what we kind of experienced, Tart, in 94. And just the fans out there were taking over L.A., you know, just like we did in 94. And so just the excitement around that. And they had much longer drought than we did. You know, I think we were 30 years. They had something like
they
that.
Had infinity, dude.
Yeah.
It's been
infinity and beyond.
They've never been there before. Maybe once.
Lee Corso took them to one of those low-hanging fruit bowls early on in his tenure, and was about it for a long time.
So, I mean, I couldn't be more excited in that respect, from that story, and to have a leader as a head coach as Cignetti, who I think I have a lot of respect for without ever meeting him, but just watching how his kids respond to him on the field, what they say in the press about him. It's pretty cool to watch. I'll be rooting for him throughout.
They are definitely the team that I want to see win this whole thing. It's the season of Indiana. They deserve it. They've taken down now Ohio State and Alabama in back-to-back games
all year.
And
all year.
I think anyone who was still doubting them,
maybe there's still a few. Maybe
that's certainly that ship has sailed.
The thing that's impressive, he's got that team believing. Now you're going against named schools that those players and the fans have read about and watched forever, and you're going against Alabama and those. And who was the other one they just beat in the
Ohio State in the Big Ten championship? Yeah,
Ohio State and Alabama. You know, the creme de la creme of college football. You know, the kings of the hill, and they go out there and whip them. They're not intimidated. They just get after them. That was impressive. Now.
Hey, on that point on the Big Ten, I'm really proud of the Big Ten whooping a lot of these other guys. You know, Iowa beating Vandy was really nice.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to a guy at the bar who's down there, and the Vandy, they have the nose in there. They think they're all that. They had the whatever that quarterback was,
Diego Pavia.
Yeah, and Iowa got after him.
Oh yeah.
And then I know Ohio State lost, but Indiana putting it down on Alabama, that was awesome. And Oregon is there, even though they're kind of like the black sheep or whatever they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what we were record-wise in the Bulls, Big Ten?
Oh, I'll find that for our next segment. I'll find that. I've seen it updated. Big Ten has performed very well in the Bulls. Yeah, they have been one of the best performing conferences this year, as they typically are.
Unfortunately, Minnesota beat New Mexico.
That was a bummer.
It was a hell of a game, though. They played their butts off. Hell of a job, Heck. We love you. All right, easy on that. Wasn't that bad.
It was an overtime loss. So it was disappointing.
Big Ten is 9-4, by the way.
9-4. Thanks, Riley. Yeah, Riley Elk, our producer back in the Everlight Solar Studio. 9-4, pretty good.
The big boys, Michigan and Ohio State, are two of those 4 losses. So.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So real quick, semifinals are this week. Thursday night, Ole Miss, Miami, and Friday night, the All Big Ten game in Atlanta, Indiana and Oregon. Who will be playing for the national championship? Derek Engler.
I'm going to say Indiana. Miami.
Indiana, Miami is Derek's pick. Tarek?
Yeah, dude, I agree 100%.
Same? All right, Coach, you want to make it 3 for 3?
I do. I think Indiana's on a roll. Yeah, and Miami's a good football team. I like that football team. So, and that'd be a great matchup.
That would be a lot of fun to watch, and the storylines for both coming into it. It's a good playoff the way this is all turning out for college football because of the controversy around the selection and the format going into it. This has really played out about as best as the sport could hope for the drama, for the storylines heading in here to the Final Four and then ultimately to the national championship here in about 2 weeks from tonight. Plenty more to talk about, including if Indiana were to win a championship, that might be one of the best turnarounds ever. I think there might only be one other story that comes even close to rivaling the Indiana turnaround. I'm going to bring that up for you guys.
Wow.
Coming up next.
Is that you call it tease?
That's a tease right there.
Captured the audience. I'm sure
That's coming up
everybody has
next
bated
on the
breath.
Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison.
The Barry Alvarez Show continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old gang at these reunions. Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How's that even possible? Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Nugenix Total T2. The testosterone booster? Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away and I'm already seeing results. I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week. Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. Stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed a difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text ROCK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's ROCK to 321-321. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. Right now, you can get Pella windows at a discount with Siding Unlimited. Yes, end-of-the-year pricing is a discount right before the 2026 price increases, saving you big money on your project right now. Buy now, install in spring, and lock in. Looking for new windows and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's. It's December, which means it's truck weather, and nobody helps you gear up like Metro Ford of Madison. Right now, get a 2025 Ford F-150 with 0% APR for 60 or 66 months, with $0 down and no payments for 90 days. The 2025 F-150 2.7L STX is here with 0% APR, plus $1,250 retail bonus cash, $1,000 open bonus cash, and $1,000 MBC. But hurry, offers end January 5th. It's truck weather, so make it count today at MetroFordofMadison.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
You get one win in the playoffs, man. I'm telling you, momentum is a hell of a deal. If the Rams had the 1 seed, I would say we don't have a shot. All of a sudden, I'm not saying, but I ain't saying it ain't, I've seen crazier blank happen.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube. Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
Badger fans, get ready to give back and chuck some pucks. Join Wisconsin Men's Hockey Friday, January 9th as the Badgers host Chuck a Puck, presented by BMO when they take on Alaska Anchorage at 7 p.m. Donate new or gently used recess equipment for the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County to earn your chance to throw a puck on the ice after the game and win prizes like a Wisconsin hockey jersey, signed sticks, or 2026-27 season tickets. Get your tickets to the game now and learn more at uwbadgers.com.
We're on the Packers, because we're on the postseason.
The time these guys get on that bus, it's over. It is a new season, and it is all about the next step.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison, the ESPN Wisconsin app, live video streaming on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Remember to hit that subscribe button on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Get notified every time we go live with the Barry Alvarez Show, the Jump Around, our Badgers dedicated digital show, Thursdays at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, and, of course, all your favorite daily shows as well, plus live high school sports and more. Subscribe to watch us here on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, alongside the Rose Bowl champions, Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler, and the legendary former head coach and director of athletics, Barry Alvarez. My name is Jesse Nelson. We're at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. So I did mention I got to pay off a tease that I did. I haven't done many of those this year here. One story in college football that could rival the turnaround at Indiana. Congratulations to the Division III national champion UW River Falls Falcons, winning last night in Canton, Ohio, against the D3 powerhouse North Central. They win their first NCAA football championship ever. UW River Falls was the doormat of the WIAC with all the loaded schools, Whitewater and Oshkosh and La Crosse. They were the doormat for years, and they have emerged now. They have this high-flying offense. Their quarterback broke Joe Burrow's single-season yardage record in all of college football at any level, and they win a national title. Coach, what are your thoughts on Division III football, the WIAC, and this loaded conference? It's so good all around the state of Wisconsin. River Falls brings home a football national championship.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I think that speaks to the quality of the high school football played in the state. You know, those in-state schools, the state colleges, are primarily in-state players, and for them to go on and win a national championship is awesome. Speaks well to the coaching and the players who come from in-state.
Pretty good stuff to see River Falls win that title.
That just speaks
Absolutely.
to the tradition of our Division III program here. You know, like Whitewater and Platteville and La Crosse, obviously, they won a lot. So, I mean, all the credit to D3. Well, I love it. It's pure, the original gangster, man. They're awesome.
Yeah, it's football. I mean, you really want to play that game if you're at one of those schools, you know, across the country. I mean, there is no shiny objects for you in Division III.
No NIL, no scholarships. That's just for the love of the game in its truest form. Yeah. And River Falls brings home a national championship last night, first time in school history. Congratulations to the Falcons. Coach, one last thing for you before we go here. You told this story a little bit last year, but I wanted to ask you about this again, because it is the time of the year with the NFL season coming to its end where there are a bunch of NFL head coaching jobs that are starting to open up around the league. I think 6 are open at the time that we're doing this show here right now. Coach, how often, if at all, were you ever approached during your time as the head coach at the University of Wisconsin about any opportunities to coach in the National Football League?
You know, several times. I had opportunities. Probably the first time the Eagles contacted me in '94 and offered me the job. I think I had another team that same year that offered me, and a couple more in years after that. And then people realized, you know, and I made it very clear, I did not want to coach in the NFL. I was very happy in college football and wanted to stay in college football.
And we're glad you did. I think we can all say that safely.
I tried to get my daughter over here. You know, she was too embarrassed. So, Coach, it's my daughter's 11th birthday, Vivian, today, and I had the family, and we came early and got in one of the booths and ordered, you know, all kinds of good food, and so, you know, was able to eat dinner with them before. And I told her, I said, just, you know,
that's awesome.
Just poke your head and wave, because you'd be live across the world on YouTube streaming. And so I tried to get her over here. She was too embarrassed.
Didn't want to do it.
No. Well, she saw Uncle Tarek, so hell no.
Get Vivian on there. Put her on there.
Well,
just wish her happy birthday.
She's in the car right now, so she definitely will wish her
happy birthday, Vivian.
Happy birthday, Vivian. No better place to spend it than here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Congratulations there, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Good to be back.
That's all we have time for here tonight. Can't wait to break down the college football playoff semifinals next week. We'll know who's contending for the national championship. And, of course, we'll stay tuned for all the latest from the NCAA transfer portal. We'll see if Wisconsin can keep the good times rolling, bringing in some players in the portal for 2026. For the legendary former director of athletics and head coach Barry Alvarez, for Tarek Sala and Derek Engler, I'm Jesse Nelson. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison.
We all
See
hear
you
the
guys.
radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax